I don't have much for myself, but if you need a ride, I'll take you, Daniel said, glancing at the frail old man beside the road. The man smiled weakly. You have no idea who I am, do you? Daniel chuckled. Does it matter? He had no clue that by morning his entire life would change. The old man looked exhausted, his frail body struggling to take another step on the lonely dirt road. His clothes were tattered, his face covered in dust. He raised his trembling hand, hoping for mercy, but every passing vehicle ignored him. Daniel, a humble farmer, was returning home from the market when he spotted the old man. He slowed his truck, rolling down the window. Sir, where are you headed? The old man hesitated, his voice barely a whisper. Anywhere, just away from here. Daniel saw the desperation in his eyes. He didn't ask questions. He simply opened the door. Hop in. The man climbed in, sighing in relief. He sat silently, staring at the fields rushing past the window. Daniel noticed his hands, rough, worn, yet oddly steady. There was something about him. You hungry? Daniel asked. The man turned his head slowly, as if the question surprised him. He nodded. Without hesitation, Daniel pulled over at a small roadside diner. He ordered the man a hot meal, while he had a simple cup of coffee. The man ate in silence, savoring every bite, his eyes reflecting an unspoken past. Thank you, son, the old man finally said. His voice was firm now, carrying weight. You didn't have to stop. You didn't have to help me. Daniel shrugged. The world's already too harsh, sir. A little kindness never hurts. The old man smiled, a knowing, almost amused smile. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a single old coin. It was unlike anything Daniel had seen before. Keep this. It might bring you luck one day. Daniel chuckled. He wasn't one for superstitions, but he accepted it out of respect. The man stepped out of the truck at a quiet crossroad, disappearing into the night. The next morning, as Daniel was tending to his farm, a convoy of luxury cars rolled down his dusty path. He wiped the sweat off his brow, confused. Why would such high-profile people come to his farm? A man in a black suit stepped out, his gaze scanning the farm before landing on Daniel. He walked up with purpose. Mr. Daniel, where is he? The man asked. Daniel frowned. Who? The man's next word sent a chill down his spine. The man you gave a ride to yesterday. That was no ordinary man. That was... Daniel's heart pounded. Who had he helped? And why were they searching for him? Daniel felt a lump in his throat. The man in the black suit locked eyes with him, his expression unreadable. That was no ordinary man, the stranger continued. That was Alexander Whitmore. Daniel blinked. The name meant nothing to him. And who is that? The man's eyes widened slightly, as if he couldn't believe Daniel's ignorance. Alexander Whitmore is the missing billionaire, the founder of Whitmore Industries. He disappeared years ago, leaving behind a multi-billion-dollar empire. Daniel's breath caught. You're saying the man I gave a ride to was a billionaire? The suited man nodded. And he's been searching for someone like you? Daniel's mind reeled. Why would a billionaire be wandering the countryside, looking so weak and lost? It made no sense. Listen, the man continued, his tone urgent. Mr. Whitmore left something for you. He told us to deliver it personally if we ever found you. Another man stepped forward, carrying a sleek black briefcase. He unlocked it and turned it toward Daniel. Inside was a stack of legal documents, along with something that made Daniel stagger back. It was a property deed. But not just any property. Whitmore Ranch, one of the largest and most valuable farmlands in the entire country, worth millions. And the papers were in Daniel's name. "This must be a mistake," Daniel muttered. "Why would he give me this?" The suited man smiled slightly. "Because you showed him something he had lost faith in. Human kindness. He built his empire from nothing, but over the years he saw only greed. When he lost everything, no one helped him. Until you. That one ride, that one meal, it meant more than you can imagine." Daniel felt his legs weaken. The simple kindness he had shown was now changing his entire life. But then, another thought struck him. Where is he now? Is he okay? The man hesitated. "That's the thing. After you dropped him off, he disappeared again?" Daniel gripped the deed, his heart pounding. Why had Alexander Whitmore vanished? What was he searching for? And why did he choose Daniel to inherit everything? One thing was certain. This wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. Daniel sat on his old wooden porch, staring at the deed in his hands. The papers felt heavy, not just in weight, but in meaning. He had worked on farms all his life, struggling to make ends meet. And now, in an instant, he was the owner of land worth millions. It didn't feel real. "Why me?" he whispered to himself. Just then, a sleek black car pulled up outside his house. The same man in the suit stepped out, holding an envelope this time. "Mr. Daniel," he said with a small smile. "There's one last thing." He handed Daniel the envelope. With slightly shaking hands, Daniel opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. The first few words made his heart pound. "Daniel, my friend. If you're reading this, it means I've moved on to the next part of my journey. I never told you the truth because I wanted to see the world as it really is, not as a billionaire but as a man. And in my weakest moment, you treated me like a human, not a burden. For that, I owe you everything." Daniel swallowed hard, his throat tight. He continued reading. "This land isn't a gift. It's an investment, not in money but in kindness. Use it wisely. Help those who need it, just like you helped me. The world needs more people like you." Tears welled up in Daniel's eyes. He looked at the vast fields stretching before him, realizing what he had to do. The next few months, everything changed. Instead of selling the land for millions, Daniel turned Whitmore Ranch into a haven for struggling farmers and workers. He built shelters, provided jobs, and made sure no one went hungry. The story of his kindness spread like wildfire, inspiring people all over the country. One small act of generosity had come full circle, and somewhere out there, Alexander Whitmore was watching. What do you think about this story? Did it touch your heart? Let us know in the comments what lesson you took from this, and tell us, where are you watching from? We love hearing from you.